Welcome to Aging Gayfully. We're about adventure, leisure, travel, being a citizen of the world, traveling to destinations, and being a part of the global community as we age and prosper in body, mind, and spirit.
Welcome to Aging Gayfully. I'm Josh, and for right now, just for this moment, I have a smile on my face.
Oh my God. I was going to notice that. I mean, my God, you do. Because I know oftentimes on these Sunday mornings, you just roll out of bed right into your studio.
Wait a second.
I mean, I never do that. I'm up and prepare. I mean, I start preparing at 6 a.m. every Sunday for my
In
visit
your
with you.
dreams, I think what you're doing is
What's
what we
up
call
with
in
that?
the
Were you
you're
busy
projecting.
were
You're
you busy
projecting.
grooming your hair? Is that what
Yes,
the problem was?
you're projecting is what's
I'm
happening now.
projecting. I'm me. I got my Chris coffee.
Yeah.
My Chris coffee.
On sale now, the Aging Gayfully store, Chris Coffee.
Yeah, Chris coffee. Yeah, yeah.
So, Chris, how the heck are you since we last talked?
I'm having a delightful September.
So hard to believe that it's already September. I have to believe that everyone listening right now has this flash of, oh my gosh, I can't believe the year's almost over, because it's just going downhill. I mean, speed-wise.
Well, that's what I want.
No.
Well, speed-wise and a lot of otherwise too.
Yes,
But
that's unintentional pun there. No, it just feels like once I hit the June top of the hill of the year, then you just feel like you're speeding faster and faster towards the end of the year. That's what I meant.
remember when we were kids?
Nope.
And we'd have, September, at least for me, September was always the start of school.
Yeah.
And you'd sit there and say, oh my God, it's going to take forever to get through this year. And now all of a sudden, as you get older, it's like, oh, wait a minute, slow down.
That's really interesting insight there, that school really stretched out that time between September and December. Really, September and the end of November, because then pretty much the last few weeks of school before Christmas break are useless. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here we are. We're both speeding at breakneck speed toward the bottom of the year. And given the fact that time is just going faster and faster, given the fact that the times in which we live are difficult, and every generation goes through their difficult times, but boy howdy do we have a doozy now. And also given to the fact that as you age, in general, time feels like it's speeding up. I have a question for you, Chris, and I am coming to you as the supplicant looking up towards the man with the white beard at the top of the mountain.
Wait a minute. We got to backtrack just a minute. Supplicant.
Yeah. Yes.
Supplicant. That is quite the word. Goodness.
I know it for a Sunday morning.
I need to comb my beard. Supplicant. That's good.
So here's my question, sir.
Okay.
Wise man on the mountain. What do we do? What do you do to protect your peace in times such as these? And I'm asking about intensely practical things that we can give to our audience, how to protect our peace. And this can inform our conversation. How has that changed over the years?
How do I protect my peace?
Yep.
I stay off social media.
Yes.
I don't engage in negative conversations. Obviously I have my own opinions and feelings and beliefs, but I'm cautious about who and where I share those with.
Well, I will say that putting this thing down, and I'm holding up my phone with the picture of my lovely wife Amanda on it, by the way. Putting this down is certainly 3/4 of the way there, of not exposing yourself to the chamber of social media, or what they call doom scrolling, where you just scroll bad news story after bad news story, or foul opinion after foul opinion, or uninformed rant after uninformed rant. That certainly will take you a lot of the way towards protecting yourself and to protecting your emotional state.
Right. And I think, it's different for each person. It's kind of like finding your comfort zone. And, social media certainly has changed the way society reacts to things. I mean, again, these are just my
Mm-hmm.
personal observations and experience, somebody that has used social media. But I don't know. For me, social media, uh, I mean, I want to see what my friends are doing. I want to watch, see their trips. I want to, their good times. I'm not really interested in negative commentary
Mm-hmm.
relating to
Sure,
social media.
sure, but unfortunately, it's hard to get away from it.
It's hard to get away from that.
Yeah.
But you can you can certainly be in control of what you absorb on social media, and I think that's kind of the trick to the to social media is I'm into keto recipes right now,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
so
cool.
it's like I'll do my Facebook and Instagram. And then what I find out as these algorithms, well, what happens when you're looking at things that are really of interest to you, then all of a sudden more of that appears.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you get the opportunity to, if something comes in that you don't really want to read, which has happened quite a bit over the last week, you just kind of say no.
Mm-hmm.
And then it keeps popping up and you just say no louder.
So here you are yelling at your phone, and your phone ain't listening.
Yeah, well,
Okay, so but what you did there is you just listed a bunch of things that you don't do in order to protect your peace. And I would go a little bit further with my question. And there's actually a reason why I'm asking this question this week. What do you do to protect your peace? I have found a new thing that I've been doing. I don't know how long I'll do it, but it's really captured my attention. It's really protects my peace and is very restorative. We've got a little postage stamp of a back garden, and recently uh, things happened to where we needed to um, put up a bunch of plants as a visual barrier. Well, I'll tell the story real quick. Have I told you this story? There was a house that was being built next to our house that just was never finished, and the developers never did anything about it, and the damn thing started to fall apart next to us. And the developers were happy just to leave that piece of
piece
mess
of
there. And so I went on a email writing campaign, first to them and then to the city in which I live. And finally, after several strongly worded letters, they ripped the thing down. So now we don't have anything on that side because that house formed the barrier on one side of our back garden. Right? We didn't need a fence because there was that house there, basically zero lot. Now we need to have a visual barrier, so I started to buy some plants, and now I am very addicted to building up our back garden and picking out plants and putting them up and just making sure they're tended and watered. And I freaking love it, man. In fact, I might start a business, planting with Josh or whatever we're going to call it, where I just go plant pretty flowers and trees in people's back gardens. But that is the thing that I'm doing right now, and it's so calming and it's so
it is.
wonderful to be able to do. So that's one of the things that I'm actively doing to protect my peace and to build my peace
Well,
is playing in nature.
yeah. So, you live in a house. I live in an apartment,
Sure.
a condo, and on our patio, um, I have started. It was a couple of years ago where I've started with orchids, and now I've got a little bit of a garden in
Mhm.
the on the patio with a grow light, and there's some peace and tranquility in taking care of the garden. And I haven't lived in a house since I was a kid because I've been more of an apartment
Yeah.
person. But I have this vision of as I watch these YouTube shows where uh, these British people are redoing they're redoing chateaus in France. I said,
Oh, yeah.
I I I I just like to go and be a staff member and work in the fields and plant the uh, plant the flowers and all the and pick the grapes. I mean, I I aspire to that because there's something great about being out in nature. So on a smaller scale, you know, yeah, I get it. It's there's something about being in nature that really is calming and relaxing.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Well, so what are some of the things that maybe you do to refresh yourself, to restore your peace, to hold the world at bay?
Well, I turn on instrumental music.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
my favorite station is, and this isn't a plug, but my favorite station is Sirius XM Escape.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but you're welcome
Oh,
to.
absolutely. Yeah.
And we could do some voiceovers for Sirius XM. That'd be, we're pretty good at that stuff. But that's kind of my go-to. But in the midst of caring for yourself, you, you have to. I think you find that magic potion for your own personal self care,
Mhm.
whether it's turning the phone off or listening to music, gardening, e- exercising. I mean, you know, it kind of comes down to that thing about self care and self compassion. What are you doing for yourself to make you feel healthy and happy? And for some people, it is posting 35 times on social media, you know. I but I think it's when I think about your question, it comes back to, what are you doing for yourself to make you feel comfortable? I think, you got me thinking about how, different seasons in your life.
Mhm.
What do you do? What did I do in my 20s and 30s? Well, I was bowling every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my out. Now, of course, 40 some odd years ago, life was a lot different, but you got where is your comfort zone?
Yeah, and I do want to unpack that a little bit because we've talked about comfort zone before. And what I love about that concept is it perfectly encapsulates why it is I love to plant, why it is I love to paint. Painting is another thing that I do.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
again, I'm going to put you on the spot. Your painting and artistic work is like fantastic.
I do. Thank you.
I'm still waiting for the polar bear underneath the umbrella sitting on the beach. And I'm really patient because yeah, but that's not the polar bear. You got to do the
Yeah.
polar bear.
Well, I,
Remember, you got it's this. I mean, you called me out earlier, so now I need to see it in one of your art. I mean, you've got talent. You've got talent that really puts you in a happy place.
it is. And I will tell you the one thing about my painting, because I've done commissions before. I did a run of pretty successful pet portraits. I made a chunk of change from doing watercolor pet portraits, but I found that my painting is one of those things that I just do for me. It starts to become, when I get a commission, and I've had here and there a few since I stopped doing them. Someone will say, "Could you do a portrait of my dad or something?" And if the project strikes my heart in a certain way, I'll do it. But I paint as my act of restoration, and so therefore it's just got to be what I want to do. And I have figured out, with all of these things that help us keep our peace, protect our peace, especially if we are exercising a talent or planting plants or whatever it is. For me, at least, I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, at least, in that moment, no matter how out of control the rest of my world seems to be, and no matter how little influence I have over the tragedies and the horrors of the world, when I'm painting, when I have that brush, I am in complete control. I have mastery of that moment, and that is everything in the midst of not being able to feel control.
That really plays into what um, I've been trying to do myself as well, stepping into your comfort zone.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what that means, is
that's what that means. It's
at
like,
that moment.
there's, um, we're conditioned to think that there are things that we have to do, and sure, that's true. I mean, you have to find a way to support yourself, whether in whatever that is. The people that are the most happiest, I think, are those that are using their talents and skills that manifest. Um, I don't want to say fortune, because I don't want to put a
Yeah,
monetary uh, notation to it. But if the people who I think are most happy, and I know when I would have been most happy in my life, is when I'm using my talents and skills to the fullest,
yeah,
that are manifesting not only income, but um, personal gratification.
yeah,
And it's funny because I've been, because we didn't prep for any of this conversation today, and that's one of the beauties of what we do. But as I'm closer to 70 than I am 60,
yeah.
and I'm thinking I've been living the best of my life, because right now I'm manifesting my talents and skills in a way that I haven't done for years. And I think, God, I work in all those other people's jobs and how unhappy I was, but that was something I had to do. So
I,
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Can I commission you to do the polar bear?
I'll get around to it. Relax. I will get around to it.
Okay, well,
Um, but it's interesting there.
yeah. I
Um,
mean,
and
and
and and here's the thing. I work with seniors. I work in a senior community, and I have seen people who are just now discovering talents and skills that they didn't know that they had, or they didn't know that they wanted to pursue. But now that they're retired, they have the freedom to be able to do that. And it's just like they're completely and totally different people. And they are out now of the point of have to do, and now they are in the want to do, which is a lovely stage to be able to be in.
that that is what's the word I'm looking for? That's kind of like utopia,
Sure, of course.
and I think we all kind of strive for that. It's like I'm so into these commercials I've been doing and the
Yeah,
voiceovers,
yeah,
and it's kind of like It's like my natural abilities and talents come into the forefront instead of feeling like I have to do something. I really want to do it.
And it's got to be fascinating for you to be learning these new things and having these new experiences. No one said that what you're doing, or if you choose to have a new hobby or a new avocation or vocation, no one says that it's easy. You still got to learn. You still got to ask questions. It's just enjoyable.
Yeah, like I've hired a voice coach,
Yeah.
and every Monday, it's like she is really helping me hone my natural skills that
Mm.
I've always thought that I had, but always a little bit too reticent to move forward with it. But when you start having some success,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. I mean, and that's kind of like the whole painting aspect that you've got talents and skills. You don't have as much time as you'd like to be able to do that because you have other responsibilities, but you know that those talents and skills are there. And I think I can be as bold and say this, that you'd like to find a way to morph into that. Where,
Oh, absolutely. But I'd rather be, the artist that does a show on a whim and then they put it in the gallery and people just flock to it. That's what I want to be. Still being able to do what I want to do,
Mhm.
on my pace, and just have everyone to be. But unfortunately, throughout history, it's usually after the fact, when you are post living,
Mhm.
that, I mean, people forget. I think that Vincent van Gogh, who's one of my favorites, like, he was not lauded at all until after the fact. So I want to avoid having to take that route. I'd rather have all of my fame and accolades now. Thank you very much.
Well, um, I'm I'm a supporter.
There you go. There you go. But going back to this idea of learning, that's the other thing that I do to protect my peace. Is I find an interesting question, and then I go research it. I keep asking the question until I get an answer. Right
Yeah,
now, I'm looking at, in fact, it's on my desk here. I'm looking at different ways of viewing the world, different avenues of philosophy, different religions and what they do. Right now, I'm looking at the Tao Te Ching, which is just another. It's an Eastern philosophy. Just asking questions, questions that I want to know about, and just pressing uh, this need to learn and to continue to grow. That protects my peace as well. I mean,
I
sometimes
think
I
that
find answers that I don't like, and then
right.
I say, okay, well, I don't want to deal with that anymore. And then I go and I'm curious about something else.
But it's good to find those answers that you don't like
Of
because
course.
it helps in the thought process. That's why I would hope that everybody had the opportunity to experience what it's like living in a different culture,
Oh, sure.
um, because you kind of get out of your own box.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. And I was joking about the answers that I don't like. That's fascinating as well.
No, I know,
Yeah.
I know you
Yeah.
were. Yeah. Because that's how we learn.
Just,
We learn by but we learn by engaging in conversation, and people that might have different opinions or beliefs are reading about that. It doesn't mean you have to disagree with people because they are have a different opinion, but that seems to happen quite a bit these days. It's like it's my way or the highway. It's like I don't think life's like that.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. Well, I hope everyone out there listening is turned on to the fact that being curious and asking questions and learning and growing is something that never expires until we do. It's never too late to learn something new or to get into a new hobby or whatever.
I have to point out another piece of your talent that just came out in a couple of sentences. Your poetry and rhyming.
Mm.
That's another talent of yours that just comes out naturally.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Don't
you're just not another guy with a bald head. So
I don't know. It I got a little bit of a thing here because I podcast now a lot on video.
yeah.
Um and every time I do, like I was podcasting with a gentleman yesterday, and why do people always got to bring up the bald head? It's just who I am. Just leave it alone. It's a bald head. Get over it. Come on now. Yes, as you are moving your head around and it's catching the light.
What's this? What was it? Blinded by the light.
That's
What's
right.
that?
That's right. Well, Chris, how can people get in touch with us and tell us how they are protecting their peace?
Well, they can email us at yesiam at aginggayfully.com. Yes, I am at aginggayfully.com. And if you want to be a neighbor of Josh, you can just go buy the lot next door.
Yeah, that's right. Please, someone buy it, please, so that we can actually have normal development around here. Um, well, Chris, until next week, I certainly hope that your learning and your adventures give you a sense of peace and joy.
I would concur with that, and I wish the same to you and all of our listeners out there.
All right, we'll talk to you all soon.